Well, hello there, Diego and Francesco. I hope you're fine, and I think we can start this gaming session. Let's pick up where we left last time. We had just built our Oak 5, if I remember correctly, our first lunar lander. We had scheduled it for building, so now we just have time up until its completion and then launch it. This will also be the first mission to take advantage of... no, it won't be. Because I just realized that I have to make a modification. Alright, here is our Oak 5, which I will have to edit. I just realized that I forgot a KOS probe. Now, while it is not that essential, because I've seen that actually flights do not end in this is not the usual modification screen. I'll try to reload it. So as I was saying, usually my flights don't usually my KOS probe is only needed for cutting off the second stage, but usually my flights don't require that feature because I don't lose radio contact with the KSC, so that's not a problem. But I don't want to risk it, so now I have to include a KOS probe in the design. However, I'm already at part limit, so what is... So what I have to do is that I have to replace the two tanks in the... I have to replace the two fuel tanks that make the second stage and replace them with a single tank, which would free up a part that I would then use for the KOS probe. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then later I'm going to implement such modification on all instances of the March A rocket. So staging is fine, of course. Taking these away, scrapping these two. Alright, this tanker goes here. Staging is still fine. And now we can have our KOS probe here. And I hope this is not two different vehicles. Well, I scrap one, if that is the case. Yeah, I have two different ones, so I'm going to scrap it. I got my money back. Perfect. And now we can work to completion. Playing KSP always involves these weird breaks you take from the game, but when you come back to it, it really grips. Like, if you've noticed, this is like my third stream this week, because I'm really getting addicted at this particular moment. Alright, roll out. More science is coming in from our satellites. And I'm going to warp to dawn, because I don't like night lunches, both for the problem of like waking up and because you don't really see the spacecraft and I want to see it. Oh, we also unlocked the tech node. Right, launch. I have unconsciously given up on the quest for finding a way to automatically load a program into KOS, so I'm just going to quickly do my usual thing. So copy path 0 PE detect copy path PE detect run PE detect go. So now close terminal, SAS, find guidance, full 0 throttle, doesn't really matter, and ignition. Let's also see an apoapsis readout. And you should... Where are my patched conics? Oh yeah, I haven't upgraded trucking station yet. Well, I have spent the money, but the building isn't complete yet. And the vehicle isn't really on course. But I can steer it. Manually. Luckily these SRBs have a gimbal. Oh boy, this launch trajectory is extremely inefficient, but maybe I'll avoid some heating. Don't explode. Okay, the mission is really doomed. Well, we got a failed mission because the fuel tank exploded, which means there's no way to get it to moon because I don't have the required delta V, I guess. Well, I'll get to orbit nonetheless because there's no reason not to do that. Also, I'm going to extend the antennas, put experiments on waiting. Yeah, what happened was that the fuel tank that was supposed to power the lander through most of its journey exploded due to overheating during the launch phase because we were going too fast in too dense an atmosphere. And so the mission is kind of crippled. And I'm going to orbit anyways because there's no reason not to. There's no way I can recover the spacecraft. So that I'm going to put it into orbit because maybe, just maybe, I can find some use for it, but I doubt it. There isn't enough delta V to go to moon in any case, I think, because it needs 2,200 just for the transfer trajectory, and I could maybe get to moon orbit, but not land. The experiments I have, I don't think there's any, they've already been done extensively. This landing gear failed. So what I might want to do is I might want to put an OhScrap on the probe, but then that would be useless weight. I would need at least two parts, one for the decoupler and one for the proper OhScrap, which would sort of protect it. But that requires two parts, and I don't think I can afford them. In any case, I think I unlocked the tech node recently. Okay, the tracking station is upgrading. As I was saying, I think I recently unlocked this tech node. Yeah. And I'm going to purchase unmanned experiment slot upgrade, because this would allow me to put one of the two experiments I have on the OhK5 probe to integrate it into the probe core itself, and thus eliminating the need for a part. So I'm going to purchase it, and I don't think I can get this from the VAB, so I'm going to do it from here. Next, I'm going to do something different that I had in mind for a bit. First, which involves the Marsh A rocket. First, let's open it. Let's take these two tanks and replace them with this one. There's a variant. This one. This will make the rocket slightly cheaper, and it now uses one less part. So that's good. Next, I want to have a look at some possibilities. So here we have a heavy payload, let's say 1.125 tons. That's not enough. Here we have a 1.3 ton payload. Yeah, which is basically what we have. Well, let's say even more, 1.4 ton, 1.45. This is probably the upper limit that this rocket can bring to orbit as it is, and we can see that the upper stage gives us 2,453 meters per second. And I want to see if the new engines we have can the new carrier engines we have can improve this. So, for example, I want to create an upper stage of similar mass. Now, the thrust of the PAG engine is 25 kN, so we want an engine with a similar thrust. This is our first stage engine. This PCR10A Stromboli should work fine. It's a liquid hydrogen engine with plenty of ISP. This is the first stage engine. The Reliant, which is the Swivel, which are sea level engines. The third, and the MR1 Campus Minatus. It's on a sea level engine, I guess. Yeah. Now, let's say we switch our fuel tanks to. Now, currently our mass is 3.7 tons. Now, let's say we switch to liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. We get just 2.4 tons. Now, let's copy the tank, and we get almost back to we are not at the old figure yet, but let's try to unlock the liquid hydrogen engine and mount it there. This gives us 2,200 meters per second compared to the 2,400 of the old engine, which means that liquid hydrogen with two tanks is a net loss with respect to liquid fuel. But at this point, the stage is actually lighter because liquid hydrogen is much less dense. Now let's see that again. Now this gives us 2,400 and it weighs, oh wait, almost 4 tons. Yeah, that's where the mass is coming from. Now let's see if a third tank does the job. Now we have a similar mass, 4.4 tons, and we have gained like 400 or 500 meters per second delta V. So yeah, a liquid hydrogen engine could, in theory, enhance the performance, but I want bigger tanks for that. I need at least the 1.875 meter tanks, because this upper stage would be too long. So hydrogen is not a road to pursue yet. I've always found weird how the early game can include liquid hydrogen engines, but now that I see that they actually don't make quite that much sense due to their limitation on density, which forces you basically to use more, which forces you to use more parts which you don't have in early career due to PEB limitations. I think it's actually quite balanced. And I mean, even if you think about it, I mean, even the RL10 was developed in the early 60s, so it's not even that unrealistic. What I want to do is change the grain geometry and set it to basically the lowest value possible. Now, currently we have the core, which is set to a longer burn time. Which is basically the lowest possible thrust. And now, whereas the core is the boosters are set to standard thrust, I'm going to put them to low thrust because maybe that could improve the heating issues by going more slowly. I don't know. I'm saving the modifications to the Marsh A rocket, and basically now we are back to trying to get the probe to work. Back to OhC5. See if there's anything interesting now. Active contracts are the stage separator transport, the moon landing, another moon landing. And let's see if there's any part testing, like test the Valium, test the Spark, test the Ant, test these, test that. Oh! Oh! I'm going to try this. So basically this is a way to get a free pairing. Actually, I could just research it. Yeah, I could just research it. Yeah, you know what, let's research it. I have it legally in 5 days. But now I'm going to try and... did I save the Oak 5 design? I wanted to do a simulation for the rocket first. Please tell me I saved the Oak 5. Yes! Okay, now let's modify it a couple of ways. First, by adding the KOS probe. Where are you? Here. Second, by putting the thermometer here and the Geiger counter in the experiment. And that's good. Okay, Oak 5 is down to like not much. Now let's open the mesh A. Where does it contain experimental parts? Oh no. I should have clicked integrate. Mesh A, integrate. Now that's the rocket I like. Now remove shroud. Attach these. Payload. Where is the engine? Where is the fairing? It should be in payload, right? Well, in any case, I am researching the node, so I leave it legally in 5 days. Yeah, there it is. KSP just can't resist in getting bugged every 2 seconds. Well, I'll just unlock it legally. not being able to complete the contract because the part doesn't show up in the VAB and having to research it itself is weird. This is gonna almost bankrupt me. I probably have to resume like testing, part testing. Okay, we have the tech. Can I have the fairing now? I can. Purchase, put it here. I have to try not to make it too heavy. Okay, should be acceptable. Don't save. Mash A, integrate. Okay, the two boosters, core, upper stage. And I think I stage the fairing before I ignite the stage. Then payload. Okay, so now I'm going to save it. Save OhC5 like this. Let's set it to clamshell deploy. Let's increase a bit expulsion force. Save it on two sides. What the hell is this? This actually looks good, I think. Yes. Save. And let's open the simulation on the launchpad. Start simulation. Because I really want to see if this actually works. First, can I reach the core? Well, I'll find a way. So now, SAS, precision control, go. You can see the thrust is lower because the gimbals don't have the authority they used to have. Aerodynamics effects seem to be completely gone. Also, the rocket has flown much higher. We are at 70 kilometers. And I don't think we're gonna meet the requirements of the contract. Well, of neither contract. But yeah, this is definitely a good idea. Oh, until the pairing gets stuck. Should further increase the explosion force. Everything is like looks like weird like this because this is not a real flight. This is the mod. This is the crash mod, which allows you to simulate flights before actually flying them. Here I'm terminating the simulation. This way you can see if your designs actually work. You pay in-game money to run these simulations to make it realistic and make it not like cheating. And the Crash has this weird thing where I don't know. Uh, they they use a wireframe graphic to improve performance or something like that. I don't know. It's just the way it is. Anyways, we check that design works as intended. So we're gonna build it. Walk to first tracking station. And then to Oak 5. Now we'll also be able to use patched conics. Roll out. The sound is zoomed up. Alright. Here we are. Launch. The sun is high in the sky. And we are ready. Now let's set SAS, precision control, and let's get our program loaded. Open terminal, copy path, copy path 0 PE detect, run PE detect, close terminal. Staging is good. Opening up Opsys readout. And ignition. Oh, fuck. This is really suboptimal. I'm going to decouple this. Too late. Well, normal recovery. At least not everything exploded. Well, those tampers had really gotten too reliable. It was really nothing had happened yet. Hello there, Seba. I am trying to launch my first lunar lander. The launch just failed because booster failed to ignite, which meant that clearly the thrust was, let's say, not really balanced. But now I'm going to build another rocket, absolutely identical to the previous one, and attempt to launch that one. Previous attempt failed because due to overheating, which destroyed part of the payload, and I'm trying to combat this issue with fairing. Add it to the building list. Come on, our finances are not that ruined yet. But now it would be very convenient to have a successful launch. Launch. SAS, precision control. Open terminal. PE detect. PE detect. Close. Apopsis readout. Ignition. This time it happened. Now let's try to perform an early gravity turn. Okay, we'll hold it that way until stage separation. Okay, now it's time to pitch down. I don't want to go too shallow because I have a contract on a suborbital trajectory. So I'll go slightly higher. I think I have the performance margin anyways. I want a 220 kilometer apopsis. I know that's kind of inefficient, but I think the drag I saved with the fairing allows me such margin. And we have patched the conics, everyone. decouple. Now I'm going to complete the transport contract and then ignite the engine. There's the usual 5-minute burn. Contract is done, separation and ignition. A fairing half didn't separate properly and it's dragging the mission down. Holy hell. Let's try to get rid of it with the gears. Yeah, it worked. And let's extend the antennas. Time up. Adjust trajectory. We'll end our maneuver with plenty of fuel left in the upper stage. We are nearing the cutoff. Excellent. Is the engine high quality? Yeah. Okay. We can now point the solar panels towards the sun because I don't like my spacecraft dying. Operation. This happened just in time. I'll wait to get a satellite link. Okay, the mission already made 20,000 bucks. Okay, I have a satellite downlink and now I'm going to create a maneuver node to Moon. This will be the first time I use a maneuver node. Also, it's pretty much in the perfect spot. Um, Focus view. Maneuver. Um, this is going to affect the maneuver. Now, is there a place where I can perform a correction maneuver? Not really. Because hello there, Christian Gaming. Hope you're doing fine. No, it's completely ineffective. Well, I'll do a correction maneuver on the way to moon. Okay. So I shouldn't have problems with communication. But I'm not going to trust my tracking stations. Yeah, that was a good decision. So now new maneuver, because the old one wasn't acceptable due to loss of signal issues. Now let's fine tune this as well. Okay, normal and anti-normal had no effect here. So now let's wait until we can do it. Alright, let's point the spacecraft. And oh, I think I have the problem of KOS locking my throttle control, so I have to switch to another spacecraft real quick and then go back. I can make it back in time for the maneuver node. Alright, here we are. OhScrap, go to. I now should have like 20 seconds to point it in the right direction. Totally doable. Totally doable. 3, 2, ignition. Oh, there's a solar storm in progress. I think we can hide most of these other spacecrafts. Neat. It's not like they are relays or something, so they're pretty useless. We are close to our staging maneuver. Signal is still on a good spot. Lock staging. Now decrease the thrust. There. Focus view. I like it. You have been in a scan to map out some planets, planning on sending one of my scientists to Eve and not sending him back because Eve is such a pain to take off from. Yeah, I've never been to Eve and who knows. I wish you luck on your mission. Hello there, Forge Gamer. Solar panels are somehow exposed, so that's not a problem. And now it's time to plan our correction maneuvers. We're thinking like 1 year to see, and let's see what effect it can have on our trajectory towards moon. It would take 50 meters per second to have an equatorial trajectory. That's not really a price I'm willing to pay if there are better alternatives. For example, a maneuver in high lunar orbit. Would require 80 meters per second, so that's not really good. Maneuver further out on our transfer trajectory would require much less. Okay, that's decided. Um, okay, 22 meters per second correction maneuver. Sonar panels are pointed towards the sun, so let's swap to it. Sapling 4 batteries are low, I don't care. Plus you fell off, plus ratio. Even as an atmosphere is so strong, you need to go 300,000 miles a second Just to keep a stable orbit, you need to use 2 stages of fuel just to leave it from surface. Yeah, I hear it's hell. Um, yeah, I could do reusable stages in the future, that's sure, but right now I don't have a part budget to add reusability. Like, just the parachutes for the first 3 boosters would require 3 parts, but with a 30 part limit in the BAB currently, 30 parts are just too many. So that will be that will have to wait, unfortunately. But I think the solid boosters I'm using are pretty cheap, and that most of the expenses are in the second stage. So don't even know if it would be if it would be that much worth it. Like, the thumpers are $850 each. That's what we are talking about. Um, Oh yeah, I think you were thinking about like powered landing and stuff, but I'm using solids at the moment, so I don't see how I could reignite them. Where is the sun? Where is the sun? Or moon? Or I think that's moon. The sun looks to be somewhere in that. Okay, that's Kerbin. Oh, there's the sun. Okay. Having patched conics sure helps in navigating. Oh, I failed the contract. That's sad. Is there anything else I'm putting on the back burner? Land on moon, explore the moon. No. Well, I'm going to stick to 2 other contracts. Okay, warp here. And I'm going to turn back on probes because having seen the other stuff that's in orbit makes me feel more comfortable. Also, let's see if... What is this? This is Oak 3. Let's see if Oak 3 transmitted everything. Connection timed out because I don't have electric charge. That's unfortunate. Oh, I'm performing a telemetry report from low space around moon. Wow. Add maneuver. This will take less than 400 meters per second. Plenty, plenty. Well, of course I consider release overhaul RSS and RP1, but I don't really like the idea because I see that they are too focused on like real rockets and stuff like that, also real solar system, etc., etc. And I don't like I really appreciate it from a technical standpoint because that's just amazing. But I am afraid I wouldn't like the gameplay because I want to play KSP because it gives me the ability to create my own rockets, and I don't want to follow the footsteps of reality too much because I want more freedom, and I think that realism overall wouldn't give me that, and I think that JNSQ, which still heavily, which is basically a more challenging and more balanced way to use the stock parts, is better way to play KSP than that, at least for me. It is. Hello there, Matt. Okay, we are going to perform a burn near just before the loss of signal to bring our orbit slightly down. Hello there, Matt. Thank you for the appreciation. It's always nice to hear feedback. Okay. Now, what's the service life of the engine? I have 31 ignitions left. That's plenty. Are solar panels exposed? Yes, they are. Time to land. I'm going to go over these planes. I guess they are planes. Oh, I should perform the orbit burn. Okay, let's go. We are now on a suborbital trajectory. And that got us quite a lot of money. Have you ever heard of SpaceX? Because they've got to talk to the vice president of SpaceX on the phone. That looks amazing. And the name of the company isn't new. I may have heard it somewhere, but I don't quite recall where. I'll have to look it up. Okay. We are draining all of our fuel from the top tank. If we were to land only on the fuel of this tank, it would be really funny because the entire design of the drop tank would have been completely overkill. Well, it probably is already. I charged the batteries. Okay, I can see the plane where I intend to land. Looks flat enough. Oh, I might land entirely on the top tank. And in any case, not staging won't do any problem. Okay, switching to above the ground altitude. Batteries are full. My favorite in real life rocket is the Soyuz because it just looks too cool and it has so much history. Every time you see new photos of the assembly process, your mind just gets blown away by its beauty. Okay, time to perform the orbit burn. We are pointing in the wrong direction. Right. Also extend and landing gears. Okay, tricky part starts now. Disabling staging lock. This spot looks pretty flat. And now the tedious process of waiting for stuff to fall starts. I'm not going to detach the tank. I am going to detach the tank. So, okay, flip, detach, flip back, okay, now for the suicide burn, I'm not going to shut down the engine, I am going to shut down the engine. Touchdown! We have landed on Moon. Taking a couple of screenshots. Nice. Milestones. Moon landing. Moon landing contract. Another moon landing contract. We got plenty of science and plenty of funds. Lower the leg spring strength so it's closer to the ground and looks cooler. Let's see. Mm, oh yeah, indeed looks cooler. So I'm now retaking the photos. And let's see what's happening to data collection. We have a radiation scan from the surface of the moon, which is being transmitted. We have the telemetry report, and we have temperature reading, which is piling up. Telemetry report has already been completed. The other two experiments are still running. Science is going up by the second. Oh, the spring's extending. We have done the radiation scan. Now we have to wait just for the radiation scan. Our battery situation is gracious. We have transmitted everything. Very well, the mission was a success. We got to the moon with a kilometer per second of delta V to spare. That's some margin. I usually don't play with such a big margin. What's happening to me? Well, playing on zero margin has never been a really good idea. So I learned some lesson, it seems. Alright. I guess we can go back to the Space Center because we've done everything we could. And I guess this is a good point to end the live. We have successfully launched a moon lander. We have explored cryogenic options for the March A upper stage, and we have found no viable alternative to the current design. Overall, successful stream which continues the trend established with the previous ones. I feel like this career is really taking off, and I love it. So I think that's it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's always nice to see you here, hang out here, and I'll see you next time. May your lunch streams be during the day, and goodbye.